Testing, testing, 1, 2. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Hello, hello, y'all. I'm here for another episode. I know I've been gone for a long time. I've been gone for a long time. I've been going through a lot. And some of these things I will be discussing on different episodes. Um, I'm just going to start by saying that, you guys, mental health is real. In the beginning, I thought it was a joke. Not so much a joke, but more so I thought that, oh, it can't happen to me. I'm tough. I've been through a lot. I can handle it. But I'm here to tell you, even the ones that think they're the strongest can be broken down by mental health. So, but yes, I will be doing an episode called Depression on Depression. So, but let me get to what I'm doing today. And today this episode is going to be called Dear Mama. And what this is about is like some things that I've always wanted to say to my mom or ask her about. Because as everybody knows, I've been through a lot. And from the time I was 7, 8 years old, actually younger than that actually, so. But you'll hear about some of the topics in this podcast episode. So I actually wrote the podcast on February 5th, 2023 at 12 p.m. But like I said, I've been going through some things, so I haven't recorded it. I actually wanted to have it recorded and released on Mother's Day, but that didn't happen. So I'm just going to read from it. And this is me as if I am talking directly to my mother. It says, how's everything going? I know that we don't talk a lot, but I want to start out by saying that I love you. My adult life has not been smooth by any stretch of the imagination. I would like to ask you some questions. If you're okay with that. Are you okay with that? And I want to know from you I want you to describe for me the era in which you grew up. What was your childhood like? What dreams did you have? What were some of your happiest childhood experiences? And looking back over your childhood experiences, what were the worst experiences that you remember? How was it living in the city where you grew up? What was your father like? What was your mother like? Which is my grandmother. How was it there? How was their relationship between one another? What do you remember about your teenage years, good and bad? How old were you when you had your first child? What was life like living in the city where you grew up? How were you treated by others in your community and neighborhood? And then it goes on to ask, where did you and Chase meet? Chase is my father. That's his last name. What was the environment like? Like, what area did you guys meet in? Was it like a park, a bar, so forth and so on? And why did you choose Chase to be with? What was the relationship like while you two remained together? How long did you remain together? I want to take you back to my earliest memories. Do you remember when we lived in the red house, aka Banks Hamburgers? It used to be a restaurant on the bottom and housing on the top in West Oakland. What memories can you recall while you lived in that house, good or bad, until you moved out of that house? I would like to tell you what I remember while living in that house. Up until we moved out of that house, I don't know what order these happened. I'm just going to speak my memories. I remember Darlene coming from around the corner with weeds in her hair, clothes messed up, because she was raped in that neighborhood around the corner from our house. I remember some sort of small diesel facility around the corner from my house. I remember hopping over the cinder block wall, sometimes playing, and I remember smelling the diesel fuel. I remember you going out one night and coming home, and my sisters had some boys in the house, and you came in the front door seeing what was happening, and you pulled out your gun and started shooting in the house at the people that were in there. Those people ran out the back door. I remember we only had one 12-inch black and white TV, and everyone crowded around to watch the programming that you selected. I remember you helping me with my homework, which was writing my alphabets this particular day, and you asked me if I knew how to write the letter B. I told you yes. I saw what the letter looked like in my mind, but I wasn't able to mentally figure out how to put it together. So you told me to write the letter B, and I drew a figure 8. That's what I saw in my mind. That's how I put it together. I couldn't write the letter B, so you slapped me across the face so hard that I fell out the chair that I was sitting in at the table. I remember going to the wrestling match one night and me being left in the house. I remember you going to the wrestling match one night and me being left in the house with Nancy, Tanya, David, Dawn. And Nancy and Tanya held me down one night. I don't know why they did this. Pulled my pants down and put fire underneath my penis until I felt the heat and started squirming, hollering. I remember Tanya taking me in the closet and telling me to hump on her. I remember cooking scrambled eggs for the first time for myself, and I tried to repeat what I saw you do, and I used dirty grease in my eggs, and they came out black. I still ate them as nasty as they were. I remember you outside at the bottom of the stairs late one night with Melvin Brown. My father came home and caught you guys outside the house. That's where a fight broke out. And I remember seeing my father's face messed up and bleeding. I remember my father, being way smaller than this guy. To me, my dad looked like, he was tall to me because I was little. But compared to Melvin, he was almost like Kevin Hart looks towards Shaquille O'Neal. That's just to give you an illustration of what it looked like. I want to say I remember you stabbed my father in the stomach in front of the house. I remember that you guys out there arguing and something happened and you stabbed him. And I remember you coming in the house and celebrating what you just did through your speech. Like you weren't afraid to go to jail or any of that type of stuff. You were big time trash talking. I remember not too long after that, we moved across the street from the red house into the green and white house. And here, my question to you is, do you remember a woman by the name of Ida? Do you remember that you were always going to the wrestling matches in San Francisco? One night, you went to a wrestling match and you had Ida watching us. I was upstairs in the room at the top of the stairs watching TV. You left and was gone for about 5 minutes or so. She came into my room. You came back to the house because you forgot something. After you left, Ida came back into my room and laid me down on the floor opposite of the side of the bed from the door. She got on top of me and started riding me. I had no idea what she was doing to me or why. It made me feel weird. I couldn't understand what was happening to me or why. She molested me while you were gone to the wrestling match. Then we moved from the green and white house to the house in East Oakland off of 94th and Cherry. Lee moved us in his pickup truck. And I remember that wide but narrow-lipped dolly with the belt around it, where the belt could hold items it could strap items to the dolly. Fast forwarding to the next situation, Quiana was born in the Cherry Street address, and so was William. That's my memory. I know William was. Quiana, I'm still unclear on, but I believe she was. What did Nancy do, which I saw both of them be born? What did Nancy do that made you hit her over the head with a toilet bowl top? Of the tank? What did Nancy do that made you hit her over the head with a toilet bowl top of the tank? Who is Melvin Brown? Who is John? Who is Quiana's father? Who is William's father? Because when we were little, these questions came up out of the presence of adults. And we used to make fun of William and Quiana because we believed that Quiana didn't belong to Chase, and neither did William. And did you know that Chase never believed that Quiana or William was his kids? Brown was still coming around. He came by in the brown deuce and a quarter one day or morning. You were gone. Chase was looking for you. I don't know for how long. I remember being upstairs with my sisters, Tanya, Nancy, Dawn. I don't remember where David was. I heard the front door open, and I went to see if it was you. It wasn't. I sat on the stairs, close to the top, head pressed against the slats, the rails. Looking through them, it was Chase. He looked different. He went from the kitchen to the bedroom to the bathroom, then to the towel closet. He climbed up on the shelf to get to the top shelf where you kept your nickel-plated .32 revolver. I did wonder why he wanted the gun. But then again, we lived in East Oakland. After he got the gun, he put it in his pocket and left. I went back upstairs and said nothing about what I saw. I remember about 15 minutes later, there was a knock at the front door. I answered it. It was the butch woman that was always harassing Tanya. She said that your mother had been shot up at the corner. I told my sisters. No one believed her. We all thought she was up to BS again. Bullshit again. As we started to walk through the big, long front yard towards the sidewalk, there were a lot of police cars on the block. This made the story true. They had arrested my father and had him in the back of the police car. I was standing on the sidewalk, staring into the police car, wondering what did he do and why was he in the police car. The information that we got that day from the witnesses, they said that you two were arguing and then a fight broke out. He pulled a gun out and shot you. Then I remember talking to you over the years about the situation, and over the years bits and pieces came out. And to add to that part of the shooting, you said that you guys ran into each other at the corner. You were coming home, he was leaving. Both had been out all night. And you guys got to arguing. He pulled the gun. You grabbed it. Y'all begin to struggle over the gun. The gun goes off once, shoots you in the leg. You drop down on one leg. You guys are still struggling with the gun. This time you're down low. He's higher than you. So the gun is above your head, or in front of your face, forehead, and you guys are struggling. Then all of a sudden the gun goes off again. This time a bullet striking you in the top of your head, where you fell to the ground. And according to witnesses, he left you laying there to die. So since you're now the only other living party to the act of violence, my question for you is, where were you the night before the shooting? What were you doing? Who were you with that kept you out all night? The morning that he came and got your gun and ran into you on the corner of 94th and Cherry in East Oakland on your way to the house, what exactly happened that morning when your destination and his destination met on that corner? Why didn't you leave him before it came to this? Because it's obvious that you guys didn't belong together. Because it's obvious to us that you guys couldn't stand each other because of all the fighting. And then you stabbed him. I remember you boasting about how you almost killed him because the doctors told you that if it had been a ½ inch more up or a ¼ inch more higher, it would have hit his heart. And you would boast about that. I remember seeing the staples in his stomach, the scarring. So, with all the cheating that both of you guys were doing, why didn't you guys just leave each other? Chase was cheating on you. You were cheating on him. I remember him taking me to a bar one night when he had his little apartment. And I remember there was a chocolate lady in the bar, a few of them actually, sitting on bar stools. And he took me in there while he was drinking his beer. And he had me rub on the thighs of a couple of these ladies. So everything was all screwed up. We, the kids, were thrown into something that we had no choice in our idea how we were going to handle what happened. The house was thrown into chaos. Fights were breaking out left and right. One fight that was between Don and Nancy involved hot grease being thrown at the other one. That house became the Wild Wild West. Do you know what it was like for a little boy, 7 years old, to try and process all this with such a young mind? I don't think anybody thought about us, or me for that matter. I remember walking into your hospital room, seeing you with the shaved head, looking at the 2 holes in the top of your skull. You told me to put my fingers in them. I remember that was just way over the top for me, something I've never seen before. And you explained to me that one hole was where the bullet went in, and the other hole is where the doctors drilled into your head trying to get the bullet out that they could not get out, and decided to leave it in there because if they went in and tried to get it and couldn't and the bullet moved, it could kill you. I remember you